Start broadcasting. So good morning, everyone. I get to
Good
say good morning
morning.
like 3 or 4 times. Good morning, ladies. How are you this
Good
morning?
morning. Good morning.
Good
Good.
morning.
That's the way I like to hear it. Okay, y'all chime in when you want to. Okay. So I just even the idea that we have a positive thing to say. I think it could be to kids of all ages. Like I consider myself a kid. So these are positive things maybe you could put to say to the kids, to say to kids with years of experience. All in all, this is going to be an amazing day. For any one of you that are celebrating or going to celebrate with your loved ones today, Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day to all of you. As they say, it's a job with not so many benefits, long hours, but the outcome, I think, is usually quite positive. I want to thank you all for taking your time out today. And for those of you that are going to be watching this on our recording later on at your leisure, thank you too. I'm going to go straight into giving the mic, as they say, to Dr. Brenda, who has had the pleasure, we've had the pleasure of having her here with us a few times. And thank you very much, because our Phoenix series needs so many people. As you know, this has been quite an unprecedented time. And sometimes you just need that extra helping hand to make sure that you're on the direction you should be going to. So Brenda, maybe you'd like to introduce yourself and maybe you introduce our other speakers for today?
Definitely. Thank you. First of all, happy Mother's Day to everyone and good morning. For those of us who are mothers, for those of us who are stepmoms, teachers, anyone, caretakers, babysitters who have to deal with children, happy day for you. And I have my colleagues with me to add more festivities for the day. I have Ms. Helen Vento.
Hello,
CBC
everyone.
Director Representative. And I have Lissia Amach.
Hello,
She
everyone.
is a yoga relaxation therapist. Okay. Helen, is there anything you want to say?
I would love to say happy Mother's Day to everybody. And other than being a senior representative, a senior director representative, I'm also a teacher. So I feel like I'm a mother of so many kids and teenagers out there. And I'm also a fur mommy. I have a Chihuahua. And so if you have any animals, happy Mother's Day to you too.
Good, thank you. You're right.
Oh my goodness. Helen, that is amazing. Yeah, I with fur mommies and all those children around, you must be really, really, really busy.
Absolutely, but I'm loving it all.
Good for you. I forgot to mention that that these lovely women have taken the time out. They're in another part of the world. They're not here with us in Dubai. We wish you were, but it was in Dubai. But if they're taking the time out, I think you're all based in Italy right now. Is that what the story is?
Yeah,
that's correct.
Okay, great. Well, then I'll let you get back at it, Brenda. Thank you.
thank you. And that Lissia, also, is there anything you want to say before we start?
Yes, I'm very grateful to you, Brenda, and for Diana and Heather to put this together. This is very amazing. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I am truly grateful, and I would like to wish you all a very beautiful Mother's Day. Thank you.
Thank you.
So sweet.
Okay, Diana, back to you.
Yes, I'm here. I'm absolutely here. So which of you lovely are going to be starting with us today? What are we going to be going through?
I guess that would be me, Diana. I'll start it off, and then it would be Helen.
Okay, fantastic. All right. So, Brenda, please do.
Okay. Today we're going to start with a theme I want to call How to Get Your Kids to Listen. Ages from 2.5 all the way to 16, 17. My name is Brenda. I am a mindfulness-based psychotherapist. And today I'm going to help those parents who are disappointed, yelling, screaming, pulling their hairs out, especially now because we are in times of the pandemic. We are home most of the time with our children. And we don't know what to do because we're stressed, they're stressed. And then at the end of the day, we're feeling bad because we've yelled, begged, and no results. So what do we do? Here's the question. How do we stop yelling?
This must be quite the difficult time, or amplified anyway. It must be amplified. I can't imagine. Well, there's surely other situations that make that type of thing be amplified, but this is worldwide at the moment.
That is true. And those are the things that I get now from parents asking questions. What am I going to do now at the end of my wit? Well, I said it's very simple. I'll give you 5 strategy survival guide tips, and then I'll give you the 5 R's. Okay, first of all, let's just remember that our children have free will. And if you want to admit it or not, everyone here, from the age of 2 all the way to being an elder, everybody wants autonomy. Okay? So where does that put us parents? We get frustrated because we're the boss. It's our house. We're bigger. We're older. We're stronger. But our child, what they really want is a lot of positive attention. And they want, or power struggle, depending on the age. So there are some tools that I will show you for that type of age gap, 2 to 16. For those parents who are always asking, repeating, reminding, asking, reminding, repeating, and then they blow up and their child talks back. So let's use one example. Parents who are struggling with children who talk back. Okay? Let's see why this happens, and let's see what we can do. First of all, let's do the most important thing. Let's own our role. Okay? Back talk is usually a two-way street, one in which parents also play a role. Be aware of your day in and day out communication with your children, with your kids. Watch your tone and minimize the amount of ordering, correcting, and directing you do, because no one wants to be bossed around. And the natural reaction for a child is to fight back. So it's not about winning a battle, because parents think, oh, if I give in, they've won. Well, it's about recognizing that your child needs more control over their life, and we have to help them find positive power within their boundaries. Okay. Now, I want parents to honestly ask yourself, when is it that you are most triggered? These are what I call the hot pockets, the hot stress pockets. Is it during the morning, during the night? Is it when you're tired? Is it when you're stressed? So we have to be honest with ourselves. When is it that my child gets the best of me? Because most of the time it's 50-50. Our personality, our misbehavior allows them to misbehave with us also. So we have to fill the attention basket. Most of us now at home have children who always want our attention. That's number 2. Kids of all ages have an attention basket. Plain and simple. If they don't get sufficient positive attention, they'll use negative attention to provoke us until they get our attention. And that usually happens. When they whine, we give in. When they yell, we give in. And then the vicious cycle starts, because now they know that they can push our buttons. These buttons are the ones that our parents installed in us. Okay? So what do? From their perspective, negative attention is better than no attention at all. So make sure your kids get a lot of positive attention, a lot of hugs. Okay? When something happens, don't immediately
attack.
react. Give yourself space and time to calm down and come back to it. Okay? Come back to it. Don't say, oh, I have to do it now, because if I do it now, they look like they won. No, it's not a battle. What you want your child to learn is you want them to be the best version of themselves, and you also want to be the best version of yourself. Okay? Make sure you're giving your kids a lot of attention. Number 3, give power to them. Kids are fueled by power. Find your ways to give these children the power they need. For example, a good example, provide more choices within your family boundaries, of course, so they can have more control over their little world or big world. Let a toddler choose between, let's say, a Batman and Superman toothbrush, or let your teenager go to the restaurant with you and choose a restaurant within a set budget, right? Don't give the satisfaction of overreaction, and that's where we lose it, and that's where we feel bad at the end. The truth is, kids talk back to get a reaction. When you get upset and respond with, you will not talk to me like that again. Who do you think you are? They're scoring it big. Instead, get eye to eye and very calmly say, I feel hurt and disrespected when you speak to me that way. When I hear that tone of voice, I'm going to walk away. That's it. I'll be happy to speak to you when we can speak to each other respectfully. Number 5, here's the most important one, the 5 R's. Okay, what are the 5 R's? 5 R's are something that parents should follow, because once we blow up, we go straight into punishment. Okay, punishment is to make your child feel blame, shame, and pain, and we don't want that, because what they do is they start lying, and when they start lying, we get angry. Why are they lying? Because they know that we're going to make them feel bad. So how about we just use the 5 R's, which are, number 1, when they do something we don't want them to do, be respectful. Okay, give them that respect with a nice, calm voice, and come back to it and explain why you're upset and why things happened. Number 2, related to the misbehavior. For example, if they go on their bike and don't wear their helmet, don't take away a birthday party. Take away bike privileges for whatever time you think the child's growth and development needs. If it's a 4-year-old and you tell them to pick up their toys, well, the next day they don't play with that toy until they get it right. Teenagers, here we go, especially with teenagers, okay?
Oh, I'm taking notes, Brenda. I am taking notes.
Thank you. Teenagers, phone gadget on the table. That's here. Teenager, we were like, the rule of the house is do not bring any gadgets to the table for many reasons. What happens when they do? Okay, that's taken away. Can't use it for a week. Because remember, these are privileges, not rights, and they have to understand that. So what happens when we give them these 5 R's? Number 3, reasonable in duration. Don't take it away forever. Take it away as long as they think they'll learn. Be responsible for it. 4, reveal in advance. And that's the one where parents always forget. Tell them what will happen if they don't pay attention to you or do what you are requesting them to do. Then they know already what the consequence will be, and they won't be in shock. And you won't be so much of a bad guy. And number 5, the most important, let them repeat it back to you. And now you have a verbal agreement where they choose and they have the power to either keep their privilege or not.
So does that work so well? Does that work so well with teenagers to repeat and go back or whatever I was going to say? Sorry.
Oh, okay. Very good question. So remember, these are just one of the tools. Okay, punishment should only be 10 to 15%. Now, for example, like my mom used to say, you know, you can't make a house with just a hammer. You need other tools. Okay. Right. So if you do have teenagers, and they're, let's say, for example, my teenager, when she was 14 and she used to bring that phone to the table, she knew already the consequences. The consequences were you cannot use the phone for the next week. It did work, believe it or not, because it's also the way that you speak. Most parents yell, they lose it, and then the child is so scared they're not even listening to the parent. They're just reacting. So the script could go like this. I'll give you an example. So I wrote it down because I know we only have a few minutes, but for example, you say, let's say somebody doesn't listen to you because they have the phone on their table. Okay. You say, I've noticed that we're having problems or issues in the technology department or with your phone gadget. Every time I ask you or request, every time I ask you to not bring your phone to the table, you grunt and you grumble and then we argue. Okay, see, I use the word I've noticed. I've noticed is disarming. It's not, I told you this and that. Okay, you always, if you do that, you're putting the child into a defensive mode. This is also good for partners, not just children. Anyone who has a boyfriend, partner, husband, whatever it may be, if you use the words I've noticed, it's very disarming. Now you're going into solution mode. Okay, there's a problem, there's a solution. Now we're going to go into the expectations. I expect that when I ask you to please put away your phone, you do so. And you may tell even the reasons why. You don't have to, but most of the time you should. It's rude. We have to talk. It's family time. It's the only time that you should be without it, for whatever it is that you think your child needs. Now, let's go with the most important one, which is telling them what will happen if they do that. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's,
the
yeah,
positive
waiting.
is.
I'm
The
waiting. I'm
positive
waiting.
Hold on, let me put in this slide. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the positive if. Okay, the positive if. Yeah, my curiosity is I'm going to add some things for thought. And other people, please be kind enough, if you have any questions, write them up in the chat and we'll get there to you. Okay. I have something that I want to ask for the end. What happens if the other parent, let's say you don't bring your phone to the table, but the other parent brings their phone to the table. So there you go. This is my question for after, since I'm not typing. Okay?
That's good. You know what? That's really good. Then that's another issue. That's parenting, not the child itself.
Yeah. Anyway, so you were saying, I'm sorry, I interrupted. You were going.
No, it's okay.
Brenda, go ahead.
So when you say these things, I've noticed that we have a problem. My expectation is that when I ask you to turn it off or do something that you should not do, I'll give you a consequence or warning. Now, I know you want to keep your game. I know you want to keep talking to your friend. I'll give you a 5-minute warning because I know you want to continue later on. Now, I think this sounds reasonable. You're not yelling, you're not screaming, you're having a dialogue. It's respectful. Now, here we go with the consequences. And if you don't abide by what I tell you, you will lose 1 week of your privileges on the phone. Okay? Now they know your expectations. See? They know, and they're the boss. Now they have the power to choose if they want to continue with their privileges or not. And then you make them repeat it. You say, now, sweetie, now that we are sure that we're on the same page, could you please repeat what mommy just said to you? And they tell you, okay, good. I'm sure you'll do the best that you can next time. And you continue. You don't bring it up anymore. You don't badger, because you don't want them to feel bad. Okay, they're learning. They're learning. There's no reason to blame them for anything. They're growing from this. Discipline is not punishment. Now, for example, let's say I have a question. What if they do repeat it back to you and they still make that poor choice and they still bring the phone to the table? Now, parents, this is where we're to blame. We say what we're going to do, and then when the time comes, we don't do it. So what happens?
Yeah.
Okay, there's the issue. They see, oh, why do I have to respect her? Why should I listen to her or him? I'm going to continue to do what I do. Now you're going to have more than a power struggle. Okay, and then you need other tools for that. But let's say they do make a mistake, because they will. Now what do? You say, okay, well, sweetie, I see that you have chosen to let go of your privileges, but I'm sure the next time you'll do well. Okay, you're not making them feel bad. Now they know they've made the mistake. You followed through. They chose to let go of their privileges. You're not making them feel bad. They'll get angry with you, of course, but that's okay. In one ear, out the other. You have to continue this process all the time. And it works. It really, I'm telling you, it works. I've had a lot of people tell me that by speaking that way, by taking a time out for yourself as a parent, not yelling when you're stressed, not making them feel bad. And please, parents, don't ever say, I told you so. They know you told them. They know. Okay? If you keep on saying, but I told you, they know already. The reason they know is because you told them. And you told them so, they know that. Okay? Are there any questions? I'm trying to put so much in a little bit of time.
Oh, I'm just taking it all in. I'm just fully inspired, and I love everything you're saying. So I don't even want to interrupt you because it's just beautiful.
Thanks, Helen.
Yeah, I totally agree. The idea of saying I've noticed, and then the fact that, we should talk about this together and things like that. Could you, we were asked, one of the people asked, could you please repeat the fifth, sorry, it went by so quickly. It says, could you please
The
repeat
5
the
R's.
fifth?
Oh,
5
okay,
R's.
sure.
Thank you. Sure. There it is. Chat. Yes.
Number one is be respectful. And this is for all relationships, not just your children, okay? When you speak to your partner or a friend, be respectful always. And relate to your child the misbehavior. Relate the punishment or discipline with the misbehavior. Be reasonable in duration. Number 3, reasonable. We don't want our child to suffer. We want them to learn and grow. 4, reveal in advance the consequence, what will happen if and why. And 5, have your child repeat it back to you. So it's respect, relate, reasonable, reveal, and repeat. Those are the 5 R's.
Yeah, perhaps when we send they said thank you. When we send the email back out with the video, we can actually put that R with the 5 R's. Now, I have one. I'm little devil's advocate here. Okay,
Of course you are.
Devil's advocate. Of course you are. Right. One, like, I think that one should get rid of the "I told you so." Like, I told you so. You take away the phone. I told you so. Just what could you actually say? Thank you, Brenda, from Alina. Sorry, get closer. I'm a little bit too far away from my screen. What would you say, like, as you're taking away the device? Let's use the device as well, the phone. What would you say?
As you're taking away, nothing. They know already. That's the thing. Parents, we talk too much. There's too much dialogue. That's the problem sometimes. Okay. When I was a child, I didn't have that much dialogue. I'm not saying it was the best thing, but I did learn. My mother was one eye. She looked at you one way. You knew. That was the entire dialogue. Now, if we talk too much, there's confusion. We want to be friends with our kids. We don't want to be the bad guy. You're not their friend. They have friends. You are their caretaker, and you're responsible for this life. What you do is you say, well, now that I've noticed, before you say I've noticed that we're having problems and they don't abide, you say, okay, sweetie, I'm sorry that you chose to lose your privilege. But I'm sure next time you'll do better. And as you're saying that, you start taking away things.
Beautiful, because you're giving them a choice.
They already had the choice.
Yeah.
Okay, they're in power now. So what you did is, as you're talking, you can take the item away. They're going to be so busy listening to what you're saying because it sounds so calm and mature, than the actual taking away of the object. It's not about the phone. It was never about the phone. It's about, you don't tell me what to do. I'm in charge. I'm older now. I know better. What do you know? That's what it's really all about.
Love this.
Fair enough. That sounds great. And then the fact that they know, let's say as an example, you're saying it's for 24 hours, for one day, or whatever the case may be. So that's really good. So that they know it. Should you give in from 24 hours? Let's say if you say the time is 24 hours, should you give in to 12?
Well, you know what? Every situation is different. Every situation is different. I'm not going to say yes or no, but most of the time, if you feel as a parent you won't follow through, don't say anything.
Okay. So I think that's the bottom line. Just do what you are going to do. Say what you're going to do. For example,
you say, I'm going to take the phone privilege. And if they say, oh, for how long? Well, I'll decide. I'll come back to you on that. Not everything has to be a reaction at the moment. Even in relationships, not everything has to be, just come back to it. Come back to it. That's the beauty of being a mindful parent, to have resilient children. You're present.
And for those of us that maybe have children that are older, I think you still can use those tools, because I don't think it's ever too late. Because maybe they would be surprised that you holy moly, mother's calm. Holy mother's actually doing what she's doing or saying what she's doing or whatever. So I think these are tools. Don't stop at your 16-year-olds. Stop at your 40-year-olds. I don't know. You know who's out there. So who knows? Never too late.
Nope.
Oh, that's it. So we have 5 R's. Well, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you. You actually put that in a nutshell, and I am not surprised. I've had the privilege of knowing Brenda for a bit, not as long as I would like, but you know, life gave me this, and I'm taking it as a gift. So, so that is quite exciting. So, what I was going to say, Helen or Lissia, have you ever seen that in any of the cases of people that you were with or working with? You see lots of parents. Actually, I'm sorry, you know, there is actually a cartoon drawing, and this is not so much with parenting, but it is. They had in the year 1960, 1980, let's say 1980, the child gets not a good mark on their report card. And the parents would go to the child, what did you do, right? How come you got like a F-, right? Now, they showed that in the year 2010, let's say, just say 2000, the same mark, they're in front of the teacher's desk, both drawings, the parents turn to the teacher. How come my daughter got an F? I'm still with the other generation. So have you seen now some of these parenting type of things? Does that happen to you, Helen?
Well, as you know, I'm also a teacher, and I've been a teacher for the past 16 years. And so I've been going through that, and it's unbelievable. But I have to say, linking to what Brenda said, and like I said, I took some notes. I have to say that I have a beautiful relationship with, all of my students, but I think it's because I've always used the carrot and stick rule, not only with my students, but also with, my family members, teammates, etc. Carrot and stick, what I mean by that is that they know they have to, follow specific rules. That's the stick, because otherwise I get very upset, very strict, and they know that, it really hurts my feelings because I'm giving them my time. I'm giving them, all of my knowledge. I want to empower them. And, if they do follow those rules, they get the carrots, meaning that at that point, they can have some, time for themselves. It could be anything. It could be like a moment during the lesson that we can, just have a chat, watch maybe part of a TV series together and discuss it. And parents, I noticed that there are so many of them that still have to learn the fact that, children have to start being responsible from the moment they're born, basically. So they are given a choice. They are responsible for their actions. And, and I do talk to the parents to try to make them understand that when we were children, we were responsible for our actions. So I want them to just go back in time and to understand and say, remember when you were a child and you got that F-, what did your parents say? And so that's when they're like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, yeah, so you shouldn't be pointing your finger at the teacher all the time, because if we're here, it's because we have a passion for our job. It takes a lot to be a teacher. There's a lot of, calm essential oil that is necessary for a crazy situation at school all day. But we decided to have this job because we love it, and we are like second moms. So if we do it, if we give that F-, it's because we want our children. I say our because I feel that we are responsible also for those children,
of course,
to grow up.
You spend so many hours in a day.
Exactly.
And in a community type of setting. So of course it is. I call you the school moms. That's what I say. You guys are school moms. Yeah.
Because we want them to become better human beings. I mean, we are all a work in progress, right? We want to become better human beings, and we want them to become better human beings. And then too, teach what, they were able to get from us teachers. So we just want, their best, and parents should understand that. But by saying that, when you were a child, what did your parents tell you when you got a bad mark? Well, they didn't say much because we got in trouble. There you go. So, it's time to sit down with your child, not, yell at him or anything like Brenda said, but try to understand what is the problem and just solve it. I'm a very problem solving person. I look for the solution instead of the problem. So I just like to, make everyone understand that we can all look for that, light in the dark.
Okay.
So.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you were talking about essential oils. So what can you tell us? I'm sorry, ladies, I think you gave us a poll. Would you like me to put up the poll now? Is this a particular time that you wanted to poll so that you show who's in the crowd with you? We can put up the poll while you're talking. Is that good? All right. So our lovely audience, there's a really quick poll there that helps guide the conversation, and there's no testing. She hasn't put out a school test. There's 5 of them. So actually, if you as participants want to write it in, go ahead too. So go ahead, Helen. We can see you, so please go ahead and talk. Okay.
Okay, sure. So about the essential oils, well, I decided to, treat myself in a sense that I believe that each and every one of us deserves the best because we are giving so much to the world. And many people, especially women, don't really realize that. Many women tend to think that, they don't deserve that much. And again, they feel bad because during the day they yelled at, their children, like Brenda said before. And so, I've been a bad mother, so I'm not going to treat myself to anything. And I just know it shouldn't be that way because it's funny because like years ago, I created a page on my Facebook and it's called FLY, F.L.Y. I love acronyms. And this FLY meaning is first love yourself. And I think it's absolutely important to take care of yourself because if you do that, you are so much, more able to take care of people who are around you, whether it's your partner, whether it's your children, whether it's, like I said, people in your team, your colleagues, whoever. So I am, absolutely, I'm a true believer that you have to take care of yourself first. And by taking care of yourself, I mean, empowering your well-being and your health. It's very important to understand that, our body is a carrier and not a barrier. And this is why I decided to focus on, well-being when it comes to natural products, 100% natural products. And I love these essential oils like so many other products as well. But the reason why today I wanted to fill you in on these oils is because they help you out, especially with what we were talking about before, being a teacher, before going to work, before starting my actually online lessons right now, because this is what we're doing. Yes, we're working from home. Very busy.
Excuse me. What is the age group that you have, Helen? What age group do you have at the moment?
Mostly teenagers. Generally, I teach the 5th year of high school because, in Italy we have 5 years of high school. And so my teenagers are like, let's say mostly 16 to 18, but I do also teach middle school kids. Children, I used to have them, but this year, no, I was given mostly higher levels because I teach Cambridge levels, and and they have to be really more mature and responsible in order to take those examinations. And I just, I love my job, but like I said, it is also very woo! It's
I was going to say there is a lot of energy there. So what do you use these essential oils for then, particularly to prepare you for the day? I feel as
Yes,
well.
absolutely. It prepares me for the day and for the night because right here today, I would like to focus my attention on especially these two here. I should be receiving the other two, tomorrow. So unfortunately, I can't show them to you, but they're just for multitasking essential oils. Now, the reason why I love this one so much, it's called Calm. I don't know if you can see it because with the panel, I can't see if you can see it, but it's a little bottle.
Yeah, you can see it. You can see it pretty much. Okay.
Okay.
You can-
And so, with this bottle, you can just do so much because you can put it like not only for you moms, but also for your children. You can put it under your feet before going to bed, for example. So this way you have a nice restful night. And in the morning when you wake up, you feel much more relaxed. This is the reason why it's called Calm. It is a blend that really, makes you feel better. And what I generally do in the morning after taking a shower, I put it on my, wrists, stress points. So my wrists, a little bit on my temples, although that's when this comes into action. But let's just keep on talking about Calm. But this is my lifesaver, actually. But Calm does help you just feel better in the situation that we are living in right now, because we also have to face the fact that we are all in a totally different situation than how we were 2 months ago, and we just have to, I just think, accept it and just focus on the positivity of it and just look at the bright side and just focus on your, just be present oriented. So spend your time with your children and, help yourself with something that is natural and, harness the power of nature. So this Calm blend just calms you. Yes, I know, Diane, you want to ask me a question. So
I do. Sorry. Because let's just get down to basics here. People are going essential oils. They see a bottle and they're going, wait. Is it the perfume of the oil? Is it the oil itself? I mean,
well,
I'm assuming that, you're talking about a quantity of something being absorbed into the body, right? So
absolutely.
people are probably going, okay, it's natural, but how much and how often? And you've got it all probably here.
Okay, so I'm glad you asked me that question. Well, what I can tell you that it's not just about the fragrance, because the fragrance is absolutely wonderful. I wish I was there with you in Dubai so you could all smell it, but unfortunately right now we have to do it via Zoom. But I can assure you that the fragrance is unbelievable, because everything that's in here is 100% natural. But it goes beyond that. These bottles are so potent. They're so powerful because, like we said before, our body is a carrier, not a barrier. This means that whatever you decide to put on your body, it's just going to go directly into your bloodstream. And we have to be careful. We have to watch out. We can't just put anything on our bodies. So when it comes to, skincare products, essential oils, even, nutrition, whatever it is, we have to fuel our body with, positive well-being. And so how much to put on? Just a drop. Just a drop is enough. Now, this is why I also want you to understand the, empowerment of this essential oil called Escape. I don't know if you mothers, if you women or whoever, wakes up in the morning with that, headache, but maybe that headache is just due to so much stress going on right now. I just put one drop on the tips of my finger, and then I just massage my temples, and I swear, I am not joking. This is why I always tell my friends who are always curious, I'm like, you need to try it. You have to try it out yourself, so this way you can give me your opinion. The moment you put it on your temples, like, your headache is gone. But that's because, again, as I said before, let's harness the power of nature. Now, my colleague Lissia will then focus on that, on how important nature is, and she will go into depth with that. And I just wanted to share what is helping me, because I believe that, sharing means caring. So whatever could help me would most likely help you. And that's why today I wanted to bring in this. And it's Mother's Day. Buy
Yeah,
yourself
brava,
something, treat
brava.
yourself, and buy your mommy something that would definitely help out the situation. They're, so important for your body, for your mind, and, they're just so relieving and soothing. We have also other two, as I said before, that focus on relieving also muscular pain if your kids are very active. There's so many kids, like my teenagers at school, they're not just studying, they're doing everything. They're going, and then the football practice and volleyball practice, and then they have this and they have that, and they just, get home in the evening, they're so tired, and, the morning after they tell me, teacher, forgive me, but, my joints were aching, I was so tired, my mind was so. And I always tell them, like, let me talk to your mommy. And I do tell the mothers about also these essential oils to help the children as well, because their timetable is so full. It's not like when we were children. Our generation was a little different. We didn't have so much going on 24/7. And, and I'm so happy to then receive beautiful messages by the mothers saying that it did help the child with, the aching muscle pain because of all the physical activity. It did help, in the house because you can diffuse them. So you don't necessarily, if you don't want to, you don't have to put them on your skin, although I do highly suggest that, but you can also diffuse them, you can dilute them, you can even ingest them. That's how natural they are. They are unbelievable. So about these
And so
oils,
what were the other two then? What were the
yes,
other two?
okay, so we have, as we said, we have Calm, that is the relieving oil.
Right.
Then we have Escape, that is the one that, eliminates headaches. It restores your body, your mental, awareness to what's going on. So it gives you that energy as well. We have Ice, that is the soothing blend, the one that helps you with, if you have your muscles that are aching. It also gives you that beautiful, fresh feeling the moment you put it on, because there is the mint inside and ginger that immediately helps, and also the black pepper for circulation, And I have a friend of mine, she's probably here watching, her name is Maria Rosa. Unfortunately, she always goes through these, pains, aches and pains, and it's because you're getting older, you have to accept that, but our body is changing. She's gonna kill
Una
me
vera
afterwards.
amica, a true friend. Okay. Prego.
And she decided to try it out, and we were on the phone the first time that she decided to put it on her knee, because that's where she was having the problem. And I told him, like, let's do it together, just stay on the phone. She put it on and she's like, oh my goodness, I feel that it's fresh, I feel that it's working. Oh my gosh, I have that feeling that the blood is circulating even better. So I was like, you see, just let me know afterwards. It's just an immediate natural effect. So no more medicine, no more, chemical things. Let's just focus on what can help us naturally. Even,
Okay.
there's so many. And the last one. So many beautiful benefits. The last one is Sentry, which is my favorite, and that's why I don't have it, because I finished it and I'm receiving it in the next days. I wish I had it here. The reason why I love it so much is because you have that beautiful, beautiful smell of cinnamon. Now, I am a cinnamon lover. Like, whatever I have, I just put cinnamon inside, cinnamon powder, and I just love cinnamon. And what is so nice about Sentry is that it's a defensive blend, so you can use it even by putting it, like, mixing it with water and just spray it around the house, so you can just remove that bacteria off of the surfaces. You can ingest it, so people love to put one drop like with honey, or if you like dark chocolate like me, plus dark chocolate is good for us, right? Dark chocolate, you can put it on like a little bit, right? I just love dark chocolate. It's so good for you. It's good for your mood. So again, focusing on what can help you become a better person, like we were saying before. And dark chocolate does help you, just like cinnamon does, because it helps your metabolism as well. And by putting one drop of Sentry on your dark chocolate, oh my goodness, you have so much energy. You are so empowered. You can do so much throughout the day. You won't be yelling at your children, because you will be like, it's bliss. it's just bliss. So you will be with that smile on your face.
I just love this. This is like this is my girlfriend high. I love this. Well, girlfriend. So when we do the follow up of that, if you could be so kind on the email, if you just put where you recommended and what you do, people would really appreciate that.
Absolutely, and I'm absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, and or any other reading material regarding essential oils or things like that, that would be fantastic. The poll is ready, so if you want to take a peek at it, the poll you can put the poll up. And so thanks so much for all our attendees today to give us a thing of the poll, because it is in Italy they have been in isolation much longer than we have been here. Different types of isolation, different types of scenarios. You probably can touch on that at the end there,
yes.
But there you go. If you see, there's your poll. So we're talking, have you created a new routine? So I'm assuming you were talking about during the isolation. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I thank you for, taking a moment to answer this poll, because it could help me, by, like I said, I love helping, and sharing means caring, as I said before. So this helped me a lot. So about the routine, 63% of you replied by saying yes with these. And that makes me so happy, because I had to change my routine. Staying at home 24 hours a day, for the past 2 months, and now it's a bit over that. It's like 2 months and a few days, actually. I had to just refocus, redirect, reshift. So just focus on my energy and just say, I can no longer do what I was doing before. Before I would just stay home in the morning for just a few hours, then go to work, and my commuting, oh my God, I have to commute 1 hour and a half to get to work and 1 hour and a half to get back. And that's why calm is important.
And for those that you haven't been in Roman traffic, it's kind of interesting. Just trust me on that one, right? So
oh my goodness, it is unbelievable, because it's not far away. Like the school that I work at is not far. It's just that it's the traffic and the organization that is just not there. It's missing. So, it's just, it was so different. Now that I'm at home all day, at the beginning, I was like stressing out a lot, because, being at home 24 hours a day, what seemed to be quite, simple at the beginning, turned out to be like in the first few days, like, oh my God, I'm not used to this. I just kept on getting distracted. Like maybe while I was preparing a lesson, I just kept on thinking, oh no, I have to do the washing up, and then I have to, do this, and then I have to do that.
Right.
So I was giving myself, rules and distractions to avoid doing what I would normally do when I'm, at school, at my desk.
Yeah.
So
you try to be true to multitasking. So it's a good thing if you give yourself a routine. Make sure that your working area is separate from your bed. Maybe,
absolutely, you have to.
Which I'm very bad at. And so, okay, with that, number 2, are you the leader in your household? Now, I wonder, are we wishing we're the leaders? I put yes, by the way, just in case. But are we wishing we're the leaders? Are we the leaders in our household? So, okay.
Yeah. The reason why I wanted to ask this question is because, just like my colleague Brenda was saying before about respect and, people around you should be responsible for their actions. I think it's important to be a leader, whether it is in your business, whether it is in your household. Be a leader, meaning that, people are looking at you and they will want to look up to you. And this is very important because, like I was saying before, being a teacher, I just like to, teach, the people around me what I really believe in. So it's like practicing what you teach, and being a leader will also make the person next to you want to become a leader as well and become independent, because this way, that you're doing a good job as a mother, because you want your children to grow up and to become independent. Of course, they will always have that string attached to you, which is absolutely beautiful. And especially Italian moms know that, because because they want to have their, navel cord attached to their children, till the age of 45, 50, and even over. But it's also important to create that it's true, which I find very beautiful. But at the same time, it's also very important to make them understand that they have to become independent. And by doing that, you need to be a leader, and you need to, like we said before, you want to direct them and guide them in the best possible way, carrot and stick. So be a leader in your household. Make them understand that, it's very important to follow some specific rules, so then you can, of course, have the carrot later on. So being a leader is fundamental, not only in business, but
Lissia, I was actually looking, a lot of these questions and these comments were really going to go forth to how we can probably help ourselves become leaders, or I don't want to say leaders, but take care of ourselves, as what she says, fly, right? Love yourself first. First, love yourself, or something like that.
Yes.
Right. So
Absolutely.
I'm
First,
looking forward to, because it's, you see, I'm the lucky one because I knew what the topics were going to flow through. So I'm really looking forward to finding out how we're going to go ahead with that. I think there's a couple of other things in the poll questions here. Create a routine for yourself and your family. So we've got 63% have been able to create a routine. Okay.
Beautiful.
And I like actually not yet, but I'm getting there, because it's the fact it's the right direction. What do you think about that, Brenda? That people are, they're hopeful that they're getting in the right direction to create a routine, so they see the need to have one.
Well, we're all creatures of habit, and we all adapt, and that's just the way we're wired. So yes, I mean, we make the best out of anything, any opportunity that we have, especially now that we're in the pandemic. We have to survive, and if it means we could restructuring, rebuilding, we'll do it. And we've done it, and a lot of us are surviving, and we're making history. We made history, and we're going to talk about it for years to come. So I agree with everything Helen said.
Yeah. Is somebody got a phone happening? Who's got a phone?
No, it's somebody who's buzzing me. Just give me 1 second.
I can go. It's the delivery of your oils. You should run.
Maybe I'll run. Just a second. Sorry.
It's the delivery of your oils. I would run. God, Amazon has been a lifesaver sometimes. Okay, so let's look at Lissia and Brenda here. So, are you slowing down in order to speed up? So, Lissia, do you think that's vital? Do we need to slow down to speed up?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. We need to slow down because we need to think. We need to start listening. We need to take time to reflect before acting. And this is, and during this time of pandemic, it feels like it. It feels like Mother Earth has sent us into our room to reflect on our mistakes, or if we have misbehaved, and hoping that after this time of reflection we will start leading some changes, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like you've been put into a situation. You might have a moment to actually reflect on what's going on, like we've been all put in a situation. And Brenda, you probably, because of being with mindfulness, slowing down in order to speed up. Now that sounds something like a meditation. I mean, you both love this meditation, Lissia and Brenda. So the meditation, because our brains are like on 24/7. Did you get the package from me? Did you get the package?
Not the oils. Unfortunately, not the oils.
But still Amazon, good. Anyway, we were just going on the fact of slowing down to speed up. So Brenda was about to tell us about how mindfulness might be really relative, like, because I think sometimes we're just really too much multitasking. What is it, like, me lo canto, me lo suono, and then Italian is like, I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm going to play the whole thing, the symphony by myself and figure out how the ends. I'm not even doing my standing ovation just in case I have to. So sorry, that was a rendition of a bad meaning in Italian of what that is. But
No.
but what about the mindfulness about that? What do you think about that, Brenda?
Well, Lissia and I together, we meditate. She has a Friday group, or have a Tuesday group, and she can tell you also that, yes, by being mindful, even in parenting right now, if you're a mindful parent, you will create the atmosphere to have mindful, resilient children, because everything that we are, we're contagious. If we're calmness is contagious.
Mm.
Okay?
True.
Every emotion that we ooze out as a parent or even as a human being is contagious. So yes, slowing down when you meditate, when you're breathing, when you're aware, when you're at the moment, you're actually slowing down, and slowing down makes things much better, more peaceful. And at the end, you have better results. But Lissia, can you add something in there about what you have also learned and seen as
Yes.
a yoga therapist?
Thank you so much. And also, I would like to bring in, several aspects, and including today is Mother's Day, and I would like also for us to celebrate Mother Nature and Mother Earth. And perhaps this is
Oh
for
yeah.
you. Perhaps this
Yeah,
is for
she is the Queen Mother, Mother Earth. We should remember that. Yeah.
exactly. And I know that for some of you, this might not resonate so much, right? Because it is this parental title might not resonate so much because we haven't talked about it so much. It's not something that we grew up with, unfortunately. And then that's why in 2006, the UN decided to establish this UN Day, this International Day for Mother Earth, hoping that people will start thinking, raise awareness around this interdependence between us and nature and our connection. But unfortunately, during this time of the coronavirus, this pandemic, we realized that our connection with Mother Nature is completely shattered. Our relationship with Mother Nature is extremely poor. We have separated ourselves from nature so much that we have become consumers, and this has led to multiple traps: political traps, cultural traps, spiritual traps, even personal traps, right? And the question is, how do we restore this relationship? When we have a broken relationship, you go and see a counselor, and what would they start with? Communication, right? Start listening, start caring, start being curious. And I just what about we start doing this with Mother Nature as well? Yeah, what about we start having that conversation again, start listening again, and it's only then that we will realize that our relationship with Mother Nature is a life-giving one. Not only does she feed us, give us water, but also she can heal us. And the science is pretty compelling. The studies are pretty compelling around it. We realize that physically, not only when we have direct connection with nature, so skin to skin connection to nature. So when we walk on the sand, when we sit on the grass, she sends us floods of antioxidants, so which help us get rid of the free radicals from our body, right? If we run in the water, when we even talk like what we're doing now about nature, we create new brain cells. And when we take deep breaths in nature, when we use that air that comes from the water and the earth, what happens? Our pH balance gets restored, right? So physically, really, it has a fantastic positive impact. But not only that, psychologically speaking, and again, the studies have been pretty compelling. I'm thinking of the last report done called Noticing Nature by the Nature and Trust in the University of Derby. They asked a group of people to go and either smell flowers, feel the texture of the sand, feel the texture of the earth, go and listen to the sound of the ocean, and they realized that the people managed to reduce drastically the level of anxiety, but also it raised their sense of self-worth, creativity, and compassion, and therefore a stronger sense of more meaningful life, right? And so nature plays a key role in our well-being, in our healing process. And conclusion, basically, it says, it speaks volume, you know. Nature manages to offer us and give us the most holistic and affordable treatment ever. And, you know, as I work with nature and meditation a lot as a relaxologist, and at first I studied those independently, and I realized, oh my God, they actually have the exact same health benefits. And no wonder why, you know, 5,000 years BC, the gurus will take the gurus in India, will take their disciples to the forest to talk about meditation, to talk about understanding ourselves and wisdom. And no wonder why as well, when Buddha had this his attain, you know, it said that Buddha attained enlightenment under a tree, the Bodhi tree. And it happens that this Bodhi tree is located in a place called Bodh Gaya. And I can't help myself but thinking Gaia is also in our Western culture. In the Greek mythology, the goddess of earth, which is called the Mother Nature. Mm-hmm. And so nature manages to put us in a meditative state that allows us to see clearer, right? And so see clearer, but also have a direct impact on our brain. What happened is that we manages, just like for meditation, to switch off what we call the default mode network. So the default mode network in our brain is what causes rumination, makes us think about the past and the future. It's also called this monkey mind that just go from one thought to the other. And it's active most of the time. You know, studies have shown that we spend more time thinking of what is not happening than thinking of what is, right? And also it has shown that this wandering mind is what causes unhappiness. And today we are constantly, our brain is constantly redirected. So the phones, the notification, the messages, the social network, it's constantly redirected. So knowing that we can find in nature such an easy solution to get in a meditative state was for me a pretty aha moment, because I could share this to skeptics and to people also who just find that meditation is not for me, it's just so hard. Those people who might think, okay, I'm more of a doer than a seeker. You know, or meditation is something too religious, I don't feel I'm part of it. Well, the thing is, we are all meditators. You have all meditated before. You know, each time you are in front of the ocean, or you find yourself in front of a beautiful mountain, what happens? You just stay and contemplate. And during this moment of contemplation, what happens is that you switch your default mode network to a more quiet and still one. And so usually you have experienced that when you're in front of those beautiful scenery, is that you gain more clarity, you take perspective, so you think better, right? What happens is that you can come out with some new ideas, you become more creative, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah. And so that's why, you know, when we think about holidays, we think about, let's go to nature, let's go by the ocean, feel the sand, feel the water, because we want to switch off. When we say it, that we have that expression, we want to switch off our brain. And what we mean by that is that we want to switch off that default mode network, right? We want to slow down.
In order to speed up. Absolutely.
Exactly, in order to speed up, perhaps. Exactly.
And if I can say something, Lisa, just to touch on what you said, which is unbelievable. And I thank you for saying that, because I went on for so much time thinking that I am so not a person who could sit down and meditate. But you are absolutely right, because I do meditate. And thank you for bringing that up, because sometimes we tend to say, why I'm not good at that, why I'm not able to do that, when in reality we all are, but in different ways. And I noticed that just like you said, my way of meditating is when I take nice walks in the forest, in the woods, and listening to those birds chirping. It's so magical, and it just makes me understand where I'm at, and I'm so present oriented, because being focusing on the worries is future oriented, and it's not good, because it's something we can't control. So like you said, we are all we're all able to meditate, maybe in different ways. And for people who are like me, you can do it, because you can just take a nice walk on the beach or in the woods, and just focus on all the beautiful surroundings and nature, Mother Nature, as you said. It's so important, the greenery, the trees. So you are absolutely right about that. And thank you for saying it.
Thank you so much, Helen, for your input. Yeah? So just to remind everyone, this is just so available to us. It is just available to us, very accessible, and you don't need to think about all the science behind it. We do it instantly, automatically.
Yeah. Lissia, there was something very interesting that you were saying. You were saying that we could need to reconnect. I'm putting like a Reader's Digest version on that. But if you think about the first time you went out of isolation and you got to sit near a tree, touch some grass, you just were so grateful. Like things that you walk by because you're running off to work, and maybe you sometimes didn't notice how beautiful that tree was flowering or something, because what happens, it was taken away from us. Okay. And so when you got to go back, how do you think people are relating? Do you think they actually can hopefully appreciate Mother Earth a little more?
Oh, I'm convinced about it. When I walk around, or when I open the window, the air is definitely pure, and I can see further, actually. The lights is different, and I'm sure people notice it. And people are kind of afraid of going back to what was, and they're hoping that there is a change will happen, and that will be more conscious and aware, and care more. Because as you said, now that we get to be more grateful, we would care more. And now that we get to be more grateful as well, we'll be more in the present. And I hope, and pretty convinced
this is a blessing in disguise.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Indeed. You're right.
Yes,
You're
for
right.
sure. So, Lissia, coming back to your different types of practices that you do together. So, when we were talking about it sounds so simple, like, but we take for granted, maybe because we don't have the parts that are the cleanest where you can walk around barefoot or things like that. Maybe people will take better care so that they can appreciate doing something as simple as slipping off your shoes and standing on the grass, right? But let's say with your practices of yoga and whatever, with the yoga, will you actually ever try to take some of your clients or your groups to actually try to do some of the yoga outside, where you can actually do the earthing and other types of things?
Oh, yes.
Depending on the season, obviously.
Yeah, depending on the season. But indeed, doing yoga and practicing any type of exercises outdoors, in nature, is so beneficial. I mean, and you can feel it yourself. And if you go behind and you get, behind the science, you understand that, wow, it does have an effect on our brain and our physical health. So definitely, I would highly recommend anybody to go out. But if I know that for some of you, it's hard, you don't have access to nature. And during those 2 months here in Rome, it was very difficult. I was dreaming of nature all the time. And for some of you, meditating, sitting there and invoking somehow, bringing into your mind the image of a tree or nature is hard, what about just listening, right? Put on a sound, the sound of the ocean, the sound of the birds singing would be enough. Instantly, you'll see.
That's right. It's counting your blessings for. You can't say I haven't got this, but I've got that.
Exactly.
Which is
always
yeah,
focus on the good and on the positivity and on what you have, and just create your own positive mental state and environment. And another funny thing is that yesterday one of my clients told me, Helen, I'm not able to go out. I still can't go out. I live in the city center. She lives up in the north where the situation is a little bit more problematic than here in the center. And she decided to buy the Escape essential oil. And she said that by smelling it, she is reminded of the forest. And so she is, a mom of 3. And, she said, I had to find my own way. And so she said, this is my own way of looking for, a natural environment and situation. And she also listened to, as we said before, the birds chirping. So luckily our, virtual, smartphones and gadgets do help us. And so, by going on YouTube and just putting some beautiful Zen music and, the birds chirping along with your own ways of finding, natural solutions, we just have to focus on what we have rather than what we don't have, because we have so much and we have to be so grateful for that. So
exactly. Well, coming back to Lissia, I was going to say, is it as so eventually too with all our we can get the emails from everyone, but I thought this might be an ideal time. Would you be able to put us through talk about a meditation or something? First of all, before we do that, perhaps we might want to look at. Are there any questions that someone would like to put out right now? They can put out now. And if you feel more comfortable later on, you'll have the email contacts of our participants. And see, this is something exactly what Helen was saying, that you have the possibility, you might want to get a hold of Lissia or Brenda or Helen and actually be part of their Italian world, wherever you are in the world, and be part of their groups there. Let me just see if there's a chat. Is there any questions that anyone wants to come up with? If we don't see anything at the moment, why don't we go ahead? I think you could put us through, we could talk about doing a meditation to guide us. Would that be?
It would be wonderful. I actually prepared a little meditation for us today. So
Fantastic.
So
like a Mother Day, Mother Earth meditation. That's
exactly,
lovely.
Exactly, Diana. So I would, before we begin, I would just ask you to take the time to, thank you so much, Eva, for this beautiful picture. Take the time to settle down on your chair and make yourself as comfortable as possible. Make yourself as comfortable as you can. You might want to start closing your eye. Make yourself tall, your back tall, not too rigid though. And now take a deep breath in. Fill your lungs with nice, fresh air. And then exhale. Take another deep breath in. And exhale. Now take another deep breath in and hold it at the top. And slowly release. And now allow yourself soft, easy breath. And now imagine yourself seated at the base of your most favorite tree on a nice sunny day, a nice sunny spring day. Imagine your back leaning against the bark of the tree, and your sitting bones rooting down and intermingling with the roots of the tree. And now imagine that there is no longer any barrier between you and the tree, between your body and the tree, that the molecules that make up the tree in your body are able to merge. Imagine that you have become one. Feel your body as the trunk of the tree. Feel your legs as the roots reaching down into the earth, absorbing its nutrients, water. Imagine your head and your brain and all of those neurological pathways. Imagine that they are as the branches reaching up towards the sky. And with each breath, picture the strong and healing energy coming from the earth, running up through your roots and into your trunk. And with each breath, feel this energy flowing into your body, spreading everywhere to your core, your limbs, your cells, and traveling up to your spine. Breathe and feel yourself now solid, supported, and yet supple as the tree itself, with all these years of experience flowing through you. Now take the time to bring your attention to your mind and your neurological pathways as these branches are reaching up and out, taking in the sunlight and oxygen through the leaves of your branches. And now choose any thoughts, any mindset that you get stuck with, things that you go over and over, things that no longer serve you or that cannot pull in and contain the light, and release them. Let them go. Let those old branches fall. Let those dry leaves drop, to allow new branches and new colorful leaves to grow up and reach up into the sky. Allow new leaves to draw from the warmth and life-giving energy of the sun. Feel the sun of this beautiful spring day. And as you breathe, feel the strength and infinite possibilities that the spring sunlight is giving you. Feel these new leaves and new flowers on your branches, looking at the world with a new set of eyes. And ponder for a moment What positive things do you want to bring in? What positive things do you notice around you? And if there are challenges, are there any other ways to look at them? Ponder for a moment. Now, enriched and energized by the energy of the earth and the energy of the sun, feel your gratitude to the turning of the season. Feel your gratitude towards the earth. And remember that you can always come back to this image to find grounding into the earth, to draw light in and to release. Take another deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And when you feel ready, only when you feel ready, you may begin to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, your toes and fingers that are now enriched by that spring light and spring energy. Only when you feel ready, you may want to start opening your eyes to this new way of being.
Thank you so much, Lissia. That was amazing. That was
Beautiful.
a beautiful Mother's Day. And have the pleasure then maybe of being part of different groups there in Rome. Contact our speakers. I'm sure they will be happy to guide you or help you or just be there for you, which they were today. So I want to thank you so much. Our time, unfortunately, has come to an end for today. But we're hoping to have you back very soon. If anybody in the audience wants to say anything, please do so. And if not, we will have the opportunity, I hope, very soon to speak to you all again. So, Brenda, would you like to close up with something, maybe?
I would like to say Happy Mother's Day again.
Yes.
And have also happy gratitude also for one more day of life. And thank you, Diana, for having us here. And hopefully in the future, we can also come back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
yeah, for sure. We're so happy. This is, like I said, this is our way of giving back to everyone, to the community, to everyone, to friends. And so thank you so much then. Thank you, Brenda, for your wonderful thoughts. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Thank you so much. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day. You're all so beautiful. Thank you.
Enjoy Ramadan. I wish you all the best during this time.
Yes, me
Thank
too.
you.
Happy Mother's Day
Ramadan
again.
Kareem. Ramadan Kareem. Thank you.